and welcome back to our channel. Today we give you a piece of breaking news, public reaction to the Queen's Commonwealth Trust video, and vote for the Markel Famous Five. The silence from Buckingham Palace is deafening in response to the recent Sussex exploits, and many believe they are playing the long game. But the danger with that, and always has been, that damage occurs along the way. Look at how much damage has been done already. We were told that the duo would no longer represent the Queen, but they could retain private patronage. The last time I checked, which was this morning, is that the Queen is the patron of the Queen's Commonwealth Trust, and Harry is the president, and Meghan Markle was given the role of vice president last year. I see that as still representing the Queen, so why haven't they removed this honorary titles? This is why Buckingham Palace looks weak, because they thought they couldn't do any damage. But let's look at what they have done. They have abused the social media channels of the body and used them for their own agenda, and have spotted insulting rhetoric in the name of the Queen. The fact is, the body has a president who doesn't live in a Commonwealth country, is no longer a working member of the royal family. Therefore, if they want him at events, they theoretically must pay his cost. Due to COVID-19 pandemic, fortunately, they are grounded. He also has no home, and he is living in the house of a stranger, and has no job, and is living off the allowance of his father. Now tell me, is that a good role model for the youth of the Commonwealth? Then you have Meghan Markle, who isn't a citizen of a Commonwealth country, and isn't living in one either, yet has a role, and who is she supposed to be representing? Not us Brits. And how can she represent the people of the Commonwealth when she has no ties to it, bar being married to a Commonwealth citizen who has turned his back on his country? Petitions allow people to let their voices be heard, and sometimes actions occurred from it. Other petitions, such as top funding for the Sussex, I get, because people are incensed at them fettering away money on legal fees for petty cases, but ultimately that is for Charles to deal with. However, the petition to remove the Sussex rolls from the Queen's Commonwealth Trust is feasible because the Queen can remove them just as she granted them. It as also allows the public to show the royal family has displeased they are with their inaction. Removing these titles would stop the duo from abusing the body and using it as a platform for their own gains. This is not just from the British, but the people from all Commonwealth countries have been appalled at their rhetoric that was disgraceful and inappropriate. I also noticed from my own Facebook post that the comments came in thick and fast when I posted the video and my comments on it, and the mood was one of anger and dismay that Buckingham Palace is not doing anything. Buckingham Palace needs to recognize this, and this is something that they can act on. The Queen's Commonwealth Trust will function far better without the duo as stones around their neck, for they are destroying something before it can even get started. Is the Queen ready to accept that she has made an error? Is this what she will be remembered for failing to act? Her father, George VI, established the Commonwealth, and one wonders how he would feel today. Does he feel let down by his daughter? Has she failed him? Some may say this is rather cruel, but establishing and being responsible for territories requires one to act for the good of the many and not for one. The video provoked a huge amount of negative reactions on social media, and people have not held back their anger. And multiple media outlets have called the duo out on failing to understand how the Commonwealth works and what it is. As many have said, how can these people be taken seriously when they lack the knowledge about the very body that they represent? In fact, they were issuing and supporting political propaganda, including bodies that oppose the institutions the duo rely on financially. Those titles need to be removed. If the Queen wants to retain any of her flagging reputations, because the duo isn't actually doing anything constructive, but are creating destruction. Facebook no longer allows polls, and so I will do one here for the Markel Famous Five. As more is revealed, it appears that there was planning involved in the attack on Thomas Markle because that's what it was. The other comments made about Meghan Markle have been saving before in the sugar press, and nothing was new, and almost gave it the attention it deserved, which was none. The question is why they suddenly think they needed to defend Meghan Markle because the article came out of nowhere. They'd been waiting for Thomas to go to the press with the letter, but he didn't. So they poked the bear under the guise of defending Meghan Markle and defamed him in the process. That was how Meghan Markle planned to gain a victim card. But it failed, and thus the backup plan was to sue, hoping for a payout and more sympathy. Alas, that didn't pan out either. You see, this isn't an episode of Dynasty or The Bold and the Beautiful where scriptwriters control the outcome. This is real life where actions and consequences. Meghan Markle claims the case has an impact on one of her friends. We take that to mean Heather Durack, who has recently made her Instagram private. I don't know what happened there, but what do you expect when you choose questionable friends? Durack has seen her through the days of dumping Trevor, helping her to move out, and letting her stay with her, then dumping Corey as well. But she seems like a decent and loyal person who Meghan Markle treats well, one of the few. Wouldn't it be much better for the 5 friends to be named so that the ones that aren't involved can be left alone? Surely that's what a decent friend would do. As it happens, Meghan Markle doesn't have any of those, and she will cling to them. For when the house of cards falls and burns, she will come banging on the door. There is no law that stops the public from speculating who the 5 friends are, because we are allowed our opinions. If you decide to speak to the media on topics that are dubious, then you must also face the consequences of your actions, and this is what the 5 face. On another note, now that the 5 have been identified as such, it will be interesting to see if they stick as a group or not. That also means whichever friends made the defamatory statements about Thomas Markle, if sued as Thomas ought to, that means that the group can be sued as a whole, even if they didn't make the statement themselves, because it was classed as a group interview. This is because Meghan Markle filed an injunction for the 5 as a group, not as an individual as far as I can see. That is unless members within the group disassociate themselves and hold their hands up and say, "That wasn't me. It was. Who said that?" If they don't, they all go down together as a collective, and Thomas Markle has a very strong case now that the friends have had to be named. It's foolhardily to believe or think that these friends will never be named. Actions have consequences, and karma isn't about punishment, but it balances out wrongdoings. Enabling wrongdoings makes someone equally culpable. Something to think about. Some royal fans still commented on Meghan Markle and how she treated her friends and the royal family. Don't bother with me, Meghan. She doesn't deserve worth friends like you. Like all the people in her life, she drops them with the exception of her mother. She seems to think that she's so famous and too posh now, but she isn't. She has been actress who married a prince and thought she could be a queen of England. And when she found out she couldn't, and Kate was loved by the royal family and people, Meghan was jealous and wanted out. She made her lapdog Harry leave all his family, his commitments, and friends behind him. She won't be married long, then she will want all her friends back. Another added, given her own behavior, using the royal family and Harry to benefit her own need for stardom when she was nothing to offer. It is absolutely astounding she has the chutzpah to accuse Jessica of doing exactly what has been and is currently doing. She has no moral compass when it comes to her own behavior, and I hope she is dropped by the royal family in the same manner. Someone mentioned that the royal family could annul the marriage given it took place on a lie. Yes, let's hope so. A user named John also comments, I think that what Meghan is failing to realize is that no one is interested in her any longer. She is not a royal or a famous actress. She is just the woman who tricked a gullible prince into marriage, then alienated him from his family, friends, and life. She used Jessica to socially climb initially when no one knew her. Then after used her to plot her flee from the UK and to babysit Archie. She treated Jessica appallingly in her crisis. So write that book. Do that interview. Confirm what everyone knew all along. That Meghan is a manipulative, scheming, narcissistic woman. Maybe Harry will learn some unknown truths. Do you really think she is still a friend? Markel has dropped her like a ball. Probably the reason she doesn't want the list of friends who spoke to people revealed, as she no longer wants to be tied to her. Do you agree that Meghan Markle has 5 real friends? If yes, who do you think those 5 friends would be? Tell us what you think in the comment section below. And as always, come back to our channel for all the latest news on the royal family right here. Thanks for watching and see you next video. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel.
Meghan is losing the trust of her friends, reminding me of the goose story, looking at cars every day and the reason behind the emotions. The world suddenly becomes bleak. We'll pass meeting, happy, met, but many happy and sad memories together will not disappear. And not only are humans aware of it, including geese, animals, no one appreciates intelligence but sorrow. Like a goose in a central park, England's West Sussex county is also sad when its 2 geese friends died not long ago. Meghan is not too far away, she will not cry without a soulmate. She is selfish, her thoughts are short and narrow, her heart freezes over the years. She doesn't equal a goose who doesn't know what she needs. Meghan is dying to think in her